Well,
Your perimeter defense was a lot better tonight.
Yeah, and they put you in a lot of tough situations, and they were different, since the last time we played them in the regular season. They just get you scrambling, running around, and then Simmons making a bunch of plays. So it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy in the playoffs. We were a little bit better with our force tonight. And we were able to, make some shots down the stretch to be able to keep them at bay.
What did you see from Dwayne tonight that made him so effective?
Yeah, I saw moments. That's what defines Dwayne Wade. And we've seen that so much before over his career. He's not going to be logging the 40 minutes a game that he used to when I coached him, a few years ago. But in these compact minutes, he can settle the group with his experience, the championship level experience, just to add a little bit of a calm for some of our young guys. It doesn't have to be this kind of game every single night. Tonight, he needed to reach back and have one of those games, but he has great maturity and great presence to understand that it might be different the next game, and if he has to facilitate, he'll do that as well. But it was a very calming effect on the rest of our guys.
Erik, they cut that 16-point lead down to 2. At that point, what did you see? How they were able to handle that from that point on?
They turned it into overdrive. A lot of transition opportunities there. A couple offensive rebounds. Particularly when we got up, we still had an 11-point lead. Then we gave an offensive rebound, the open 3 to Sarge, and then Simmons really started to push, and we gambled a couple times, and boom, the lead just disappeared like that. But we showed some resilience to be able to execute. We had to get some coherent offense at that point, and we did. Goran and Dwayne were making plays on high pick and rolls, and again, if you have guys like that, at least you can get something in your wheelhouse, and that's what we did. And JJ, scored a couple, big ones down the stretch.
Erik, it's probably an obvious question, but does this just change the entire mindset of this team now?
No, come on. If you watched any of our games this year with Philly, they're just crazy games, so competitive. There was a couple of games where both teams gave up big leads. So even during the course of the second half, we know how big of a third quarter team they are, and we've paid the price for that in one of our games up here early in the season. They don't stop coming. So all we did was get one game. We have to get back to Miami and rest for a day, and then start to gear up again. This is a very competitive series.
Coach, you've been around Dwayne for so long. How much longer can he give you and the NBA performances like this?
I don't know. I'm enjoying just every minute of this. We've been through every stage of our pro careers together. I don't know how long this will last. That's why I want to enjoy it now. I want to make the most of these moments. It's fun having him back, part of the family, and it just feels normal. And again, it's not the same role. It's not 2009 Dwayne. It felt like he played 40 minutes tonight. He only played 25, and it probably would have been less if we didn't give up that lead. But he was. I always say it's like that country song. Not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Coach, I know you pay attention to the numbers when certain guys are on the floor, and in general, the numbers with him on the floor haven't been great this year. But is it just a matter of, hey, let's see what he can do, and then everyone...
You're talking about Dwayne?
Dwayne,
He's different. You put him in a Miami Heat uniform. I don't care what his numbers were anywhere else or all year long or at different times. He was for these moments.
Excuse me. Do you even consider the specter of Embiid in this series now, or do you just...
I think you have to. It would be irresponsible if we didn't.
Erik, James has been lately back to what we saw a lot last year, but especially these last 2 games, he's really turned it around. Can you just talk about, or turned it up? Can you talk about what what you've seen from him, and this uptick in play lately?
Yeah, and he's our heart and soul. He does so many things behind the scenes and things that don't show up in the box score. You're happy for him when he actually has a game, and you notice it in the box score, and you notice it with the big plays he's making. But he does a lot of things that just make our team different and more dynamic. But he's been playing this way for a while. It's the guy that we fell in love with last year. Weeks he's been playing impactful basketball for us.
Justice did tonight on the defensive end, especially on Ben, the physicality, and just the overall job you guys did.
Yeah,
three-point line.
Simmons can overpower you. It's a unique blend of absolute power and speed and size. It has to be a bunch of different guys. You have to have a roster and some personnel where you can, throw different guys on him, because he's going to go through guys and put foul trouble on you. He's going to collapse the defense and get you in rotations. It's hard to imagine he's 20 years old. But Justice is a competitor. He was probably the one positive from game one, how he put his competitive will on that game, and he carried it over to the first half.
And just as a quick follow-up, if I could, the job that Richardson did tonight, especially getting to the rim after what kind of happened in game one. Yeah,
it's not necessarily about the scoring. He's kind of an all-around player. He doesn't get a lot of play calls for him, so sometimes it just depends on the flow and whether the ball is going his way or not. That's a tough position to be in, when we ask him to defend all the team's other, top scorers, and then just kind of space the floor and create some second opportunities for us. Sometimes you can get out of rhythm doing that. So I wasn't really overreacting to game one. I just wanted him to, put his fingerprints on the game, and it didn't have to necessarily be in the box score. But he was more assertive tonight on both ends, and that's the Jay Rich that we like and we need.
Hassan only played 15 minutes tonight, but he seemed he was a little more engaged.
Great minutes,
tonight.
no doubt. His activity level was superb. Without those 15 minutes, it might have been totally different. Those were much needed. He got in, that fourth foul. I had every intention to put him back in the fourth. We just didn't get around to it when they made their run, and they went even smaller. But we can definitely build on that. Okay, thank you.